got a couple of weeks of footage that you won't have seen yet, but small drainage all the way around here. Right, it's about to start chucking it down. Let me rescue this automatic feeder and then get out of here. Today's a bit of a special video. We're jumping the timeline a bit, so you're going to see we've got a couple of weeks of footage that you won't have seen yet, but this is sort of a one-off because we wanted to tell you about an exciting project that we've secured. So there's a company in the UK called KTN, and they fund innovation in agri-food. So it's UK taxpayer money trying to help poor countries, but also driving innovation in agri-food. And we have won funding for a trial, which is fantastic. And the trial is basically looking at feed trials. So basically we're testing whether if you feed live black soldier fly to tilapia in ponds, what impact that has on their growth rate. And this is the perfect place for it because we've got the ponds that we need. We know roughly how to run a feed trial. We've got some help. Someone coming from the University of Stirling is coming to help us. So yeah, we're very excited, and we just thought we'd let everybody know about that. It's started already. We started in October. We've got 6 months to deliver the project. We've been buying a bunch of equipment. You might have caught a few hints in some of the videos, but we can now go public with it. So what we're going to do is this pond here and this pond behind me, we're going to do the feed trial. So we'll put them in happers, so those small nets, and then we'll test 4 lots of fish. So some of the fish we're going to give them black soldier fly only. Some of them will give them commercial feed only. Some of them we won't feed at all for the 3 months that they're in there. And then the other ones will give half, so half black soldier fly, half pellets. And we really want to see what impact that has on predominantly the growth rate of the fish. Of course, I suspect it will not be as good as commercial feed, but the savings in cost will be quite dramatic and quite considerable, I think. So that's basically what we're trying to do. We're just trying to sort of prove and see if it works. Most of the time with black soldier fly, people grind it up and put it into pellet feed, so that you're replacing soya, you're replacing fish meal, both of which have their issues. But we want to skip that and just go directly to the live maggots, because I think that's a very sustainable way for farmers to do. So that group of women that you see behind me who've come here for some training, they would directly benefit if we can get this trial running and prove that actually it does have an impact, it does reduce the cost for farmers, but it's also something that they can give to their fish, because most of the time here people don't feed their fish because they can't afford the cost. So yeah, that's why this pond at the moment is being drained. We need these ponds to be empty of fish. These 2 ponds, we're going to fertilise one pond, not fertilise the other one, see what happens. But we need them to be empty of fish. So we've got our fingerlings, which we bought right in the other end, one of the hatchery ponds. They're growing up, so they're going to be about 50-gram fish when we go into the trials, because of course they have to be able to swallow maggots. But we need to clear these ponds of fish. We need to get them ready. They're a bit too shallow. You can see here one of our reporters is standing here, but it should be a bit deeper than that. We're going to drain it, clean it up, make it deep, and then start the trial. So it's very exciting. We bought a bit of equipment for it. Got a hammer mill so we can chop up the substrate, because we need quite a lot. We want to get a hatchery going for the black soldier fly, because of course we need to be able to get the maggots growing is very easy, but the actual production of the maggots is not so hard. So yeah, we're just going to be doing that. That's part of the program, is getting that sorted. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'll show you what we've done so far on the black soldier fly site in a moment or two. But let me go and attend to this group. I think it's predominantly women who are building some ponds and do what RAD does best, which is just equip and support farmers as we try to improve food security and reduce poverty here in Uganda.
A few moments later.
This is the other part of the project. So this is where the black soldier fly are going to be reared. We're going to get the maggots growing to feed the fish. We need quite a lot of maggots for that to feed. We're basically growing 100 fish in each happer, and there's going to be 24 happers, so that's 2,400 fish. Now, not all of them are going to get a black soldier fly diet, but That's a lot of maggots that you need per week, kilos and kilos of maggots. And then you need kilos and kilos of substrate, so like organic waste for them to eat. Sorry, there's a procession on the main road. So yeah, this is the site. We've just it's changed a wee bit. What we've done is just make this area flat. This is so that we can put a sort. It's like a what's it called? Not a greenhouse. What's going to polytunnel? That's going to go just here, sort of a domed greenhouse style structure, and that's where we'll breed the flies in. Some of it will be sheltered from the rain, some of it won't. That will be the main. This is the main area for that. And then in here we've put a concrete floor. And this is where we're going to put the feeding troughs for the maggots. So we're just designing them now with the builder, so that we can grow large quantities of maggots, which we can then feed to the fish. And in future, we could expand this for future production. And these hooks here are for we've got the hammer mill, which will shred all the substrate. We just put that there for security. You can put a chain to it so that nobody can walk off with it. And this is some materials. So let me get to planning, and I'll show you. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have one of the bays ready-ish, so we can have a look at it, what it'll look like. So I've just come to pick up our hammer mill, but this is actually another working mill. So this gentleman's got his maize, probably, his corn, gets it weighed, and then you pay this gentleman, you pay like a set weight for how many kilos you got, and you stick your corn in there, mushes it up into flour. Flour. So you get various different crops and things like that. You've got your chickens eating it, and then this is our one. So I just opened it up, but essentially you get there's a belt that will run from here to our electric motor. Turn this very quickly, and then it chops the silage. And then we use that basically for the maggots. So should be a good little machine. Hopefully it will do enough for us, but it looks pretty solid, so pretty happy. And this will allow us to really get the substrate, because we've got so many maggots for our large trial. We've got a lot of organic stuff. It's just too chunky for the maggots to process quickly, so we will chop it up for them, and then we can get a lot going. But if you're a smaller farmer, like with maybe one pond, a few hundred fish, you don't need to do this. Only because we've got this we're slightly larger than most farms, and this will just really help us to sort of speed up the process. Hanging around, this is our design for the 3 bays. So we started to lay the bricks, but I hope you get the rough idea. So it's basically from there all the way down to about where the boot is to about here. And this is like a small ramp. So the bay's inside. There's walls that go up about 60 centimeters, and then here is like a ramp, and then they fall into this. The maggots will fall into this trough when they're sort of ready, and then you harvest them from here. I also put a small pipe in at the back just to sort of for drainage, and then here again, small drainage all the way around here. And then what that does is that stops any ants, because we do ants. You don't want ants in your system, so you just put some oil, petrol, something like that, around the outside of these troughs, and then that will stop the ants coming in. In the top there'll be a screen to stop rats getting in. So I just thought I would show you the feeding ring that we've come up with. So what you do is you put the feed on there, and then that keeps the feed from floating away into the banks where it's going to get wasted. And then so yes, I think this one here, this is our automatic feeder. It's a belt feeder, so what I didn't show you before, but basically you pull this thing back, and there's a clockwork mechanism here, and that slowly over 12 hours releases it like this. But it's broken, so it shouldn't be going that fast. So I'm just going to have a look and see if I can give it a tweak, get it repaired. Yeah, I think the fingerlings are growing. You can see those ones there have perished, but it's not great. But to be honest, I'm quite happy with the size of them. They're quite big already, and it's only been about a week that they're growing. So this is where we've come and brought all our fingerlings. So it's about, I think it's just under 3,000. And these are going to be part of the trials and the ponds at the end. So we are chuffed to be getting our fish in here. I was gutted that we couldn't do our own. We've got our males, our females in this one, are males in that other one. But unfortunately, we just looked at the time of it all. Like when do we need to start? Because this is a 6-month trial, but it's quite tight deadlines. You've got to get everything done, up and running, to receive the funding. So it didn't allow us enough time to get these, because we would have added the male and female. Then you have 3 weeks before you can get the fry produced, and then you've got to get them to 1 gram, which can take another couple of weeks. It all meant that we wouldn't then get the trial in enough time in there, so we ordered fingerlings from Matuga in Kampala, and that jumps the program by 4 weeks. In terms of timing, gives us a 4-week head start, because these are coming in a bit bigger. They came in at 2.1 grams was the average. The only issue is that these are the fingerlings that we used for originally, and these are the ponds, and they haven't grown as well as I hoped, which I think might be something to do with the breeding. I think you remember me talking about how excited I was about the growth rate of these fingerlings that we've got. But even with the growth rate that we've got, which is much better, it was. I think actually, I crunched the numbers, so to speak. Looked at the life cycle, and I think we could have just about delivered in terms of the growth rate. Got fingerling, because the fingerlings have to be about 50 grams so that they'll eat the maggots, right? So that's our challenge, getting 50-gram fish in those ponds inside the happers, so that we can do a 3-month feed trial and finish the project in March, the end of March, when it has to be done by. That was the challenge. That was going to be tricky. I think we had just about had enough time, but I think because we are new to the whole business in terms of hatchery, we haven't done it before, it's just increased risk, right? We need this to go well. So we made the management decision, to actually buy fingerlings and grow them, so we overfeed, well, not quite overfeeding, but we're definitely not underfeeding them, because we definitely need these to be at 50 grams, and it does mean we can't grow our own, but we'll reap the benefits of these ones at some point, just not right now. Right, it's about to start chucking it down. Let me rescue this automatic feeder and then get out of here. Morning, it's the next day. Thought there's a few things I hadn't said. Nigel, who helps us behind the scenes, big shout out to him, but we noticed when we put the fidget together, there's a few things I hadn't said. But feeling a bit tired. This guy was keeping me up all night, his brother as well. Not had water for 4 days, so not feeling the most refreshed, but just wanted to say a big thank you to those that are partnering with us in this project. So Think Aqua are our UK partner. You'll have heard of them because they're the ones that have been helping us all along. Really helped us with the ice machine in particular. Then of course our funders as well, I want to thank them. So Innovate UK, KTN, who are funding this project through GCRF part of money. So great to have that support, and we've been able to hire some people, which is just, can't tell you how wonderful that feels, just to give people jobs, and to think about the possibility as they come along, help the business of course to grow. It's not just the project. So yeah, other people I'd like to thank are just the people that have been continually enabling us to do this. So the North Gigeza Diocese, they're the ones that the fish farmers on their land. So thanks to them for allowing us to do this project with the community. Then all the people that support us on the YouTube, people that have given through the GoFundMe that we did a while back, people that give us to us a bit regularly. Just very grateful, I guess. When you actually sit and think about all the people involved in this project, it's quite big now, and we're really grateful for the support, because there's no way we could do everything we do without people cheering us on. If you're a subscriber, keep watching our videos. If you're not subscribed, do subscribe. That really helps us to grow the channel, to get the type of work that we're doing. It's really helpful for us to have a network, to outreach to other farmers, that type of thing. So that all helps. Keep watching. You'll hear more about the project as we go. Thanks very much, and see you later.